What's going on? Why do I not have a Scary? Scary, I need a picture from you, my
I'm
friend.
right here. I'm right. Oh, did I
There we
not pull
go.
my camera? What?
Well, you're
What?
back. You're back, my man.
It didn't like it when I had my this up. Ah, it's weird. Wait. So
You are
if I do this, it goes away, and
you
then
are.
if I do that,
No, you're
what?
still here. You're good to go
Okay, I'm
now.
here. Yes, I'm back.
But, my
To the never.
friends, we are actually early, everyone. I think they just put the wrong time because we are supposed to be 5 o'clock because we just did Meta Monday, my friends. But we're ready to talk about 40K.
Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm combed. I know we had. I know there's a comment a couple weeks ago that we had to comb our hair, so I combed my hair today.
I met Matthew Nurgle over the weekend. He is a fine
Oh,
gentleman.
cool.
Anyone
That's
that
awesome.
anyone offers to buy me a drink is a gentleman indeed.
Love it.
So there's lots of new stuff. I'm pretty excited about the Warhammer community page right now. We have one Warhammer Day coming out, and I want both of those models, Lieutenant with a storm shield, and
Wait. Another lieutenant? Brad,
Because
tell
we-
me this is not true.
we don't have enough of them already. There's only like 27 lieutenants. We need
Really?
one more.
That many? Primaris lieutenants?
But did you see the Vampire Lord?
I did. That's like an Archon in the making. Oh, it looks
100%.
so
I was like, oh, look that's my new Archon already in the making. I love that model. It is 100%. And I'm not going to
Full of
lie.
character.
If you saw my army over the weekend, I was literally running my Incubi as a sword. I had Sword Masters out there. I had lots of AOS models on the board for my army. But I love it. I love a lot of that AOS stuff. I think they have great models. And I think that's a big thing on that. But let's talk about big things. We had Black Templars, and we showed them off. Mr. Matthew Nurgle, thank you very much.
Thanks for the super chat. You are a boss.
I love it. Thanks for lunch and for the reach around. The reach around was free, my friend. The reach around was free.
You don't even have to ask for that. But there you go. Black Templar Codex was as I have it right here. I did a cool I got the guys from the Implausible Nature YouTube channel, which is like a Black Templar dedicated channel on, and we talked Black Templars. They were my original army, Brad. So I'm tempted to just
well, let's pop into it right now. This is a 40K today thing. What are you
You want me to?
No, what are you most excited about?
To be honest, I really like the fact that you can make your characters. They're like a character heavy army, and I really like that. It's really neat.
Love it. Coming in again. Watch the stream get too fun. Yes. It was too fun. I was having a great time wandering about aimlessly.
In the stream game, or just like in general?
In general, but during the stream game, it was very chill. He had his orc army was all Borderlands. He said he had 800 hours into his army. He ran away. He laughably ran away with painting and player's choice. Like, I think they maxed it at 20, and he just had the max for Player's Choice Awards. Just everybody.
That's awesome. Plus, he must have been like, I have a stomper, and I'm in the top table of the last round, with a stomper.
I love that. Black Templars, you mean new Fallen models? Look at you, kill it with triple super chat in a row.
He's doing 777 super chats, or 777 for Nurgle. But he's only 3 out of 7 super chats so far, because that's the ideal number.
My favorite thing is the fact that I saw one of the English ones, and you did the conversion from pounds to dollars, and he gave enough pounds that it converts to $77. I love everything about that.
Amazing. That's how that works.
But I do love the new Fallen models. I have to give props to the Black Templars, fluff-wise, because yes, half your Legion went to Chaos. However, you did have your plan.
Black Templars did not have any Legion go to Chaos.
No, sorry, Black Templars. Not Black Templars.
What are you talking about?
Sorry, the Dark Angels. Sorry, Dark Angels. When we were talking about people that are new, he said Fallen, the new, when I talked about, I meant to say the Fallen. Because I was saying the new Fallen. I said, when you have the Fallen, which are hunting down, but when you have your planet get exploded and you take rockets and you strap him to your planet and then you drive it around. That takes cojones.
What are you talking about?
That's the Rock.
Oh, okay, like the Dark Angels.
The
Okay,
Dark Angels. I kept saying that. He said
I'm so confused.
He
right
said
now.
the new Fallen. I didn't mean to say Black Templars. He was saying, but the Fallen. I said the Fallen have to give props to Dark Angels because I go, even though half your Legion basically got corrupted by old Luther, you still boss moded it up. Planet blew up. You're like, what can we do with this? Put rockets on the planet and cruise it around like a car. We're good.
That's right. That's what they would do. Okay, so back to like Black Templars specifically. Black Templars mechanics in terms of is like I feel like they did two things. One, they made a quite competitive Space Marine supplement that caters to the way that the current meta plays, which is saves against mortal wounds and tough characters and decent scoring potential and some cool tricks up their sleeves, etc. However, they also did massive fan service with this book. This book, as a Black Templar fan, is really like, rotating well for me.
Dude, their characters are boss mode. Those litanies.
The litanies are great.
I was inspired by the litanies. I made my 3 up. I made that. Those are good. I think you can run. Yes, sir. We will catch up later.
Back on track. Yeah. I'm trying to steer this navigational landmine that's going through all the amazing Nurgle gardens.
Everybody knows that I get easily distracted. My attention span is that of a small child. He said something about the Fallen, and my mind just went, "Ooh, weird Dark Angel stuff."
So somebody clicked on this, reading, "Oh, cool, we're going to talk about new releases," and then we're talking about, why Magnus did everything right.
But I'm not gonna lie. I think that I'm gonna bring 2 chaplains for sure in this list.
Oh, 100%. You're taking chaplains through, like, I would want to take 3 chaplains.
I was just, dude, seriously,
and Grimaldus,
yeah,
because I want to do all of the litanies all the time.
They're so good. You can go kick out some for everybody that didn't read it. Can you kick us to some of the litanies off real quick? And this is why
absolutely.
we're so excited about it.
Well, to be first and foremost about Black Templars. And by the way, thank you Games Workshop for sending this for free to me, because I have to say that, I guess, legally. And no, I can be critical of things if I want to, which I am critical of a few things. However, we're going to talk about the cool stuff. First of all, I love the fact that their super doctrine as a Space Marine chapter is pick one of 4 super doctrines. That I love. However, there is one that is better than all of the others.
I mean, it's not even close. Thank you very much.
No, yeah, it's everybody gets a 5-5 pinball save and mini transhuman. Like, it's amazing. Why wouldn't you do that? Other than that, let's go through the litanies. So 5-up, feel no pain on a unit, which is really cool.
Feel strong.
Do mortal wounds in close combat for every 6 to wound in close combat for a unit, up to 6 mortal wounds. It's like basically a vow to do Wrath of Mars, but combat Wrath of Mars. It's pretty cool. Make a unit immune to psychic powers.
That's my thing right there.
That thing is amazing. Like, yeah. Oh, are you Thousand Suns that can do like 30 mortal wounds a turn? Okay, well, this unit is now immune.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing about that to me is I immediately went tactical mind and went, I put that on a unit and push it up and then go, hey, unit, armies, Grey Knights, Thousand Suns, they can do all these mortal wounds. Yeah. Most of them are the closest target. So you just go, sorry.
And it's any core or character unit. Like, you could literally be like, I'm going to put it on the Dreadnought, or I'm going to put it on a biker chaplain and, like, run him up, like, super close to Wolf, and he's really hard to kill. Anyway, then you have another one, which is Fight First. No, not Fight First. +1 attack. Cool. Why not? That's pretty neat.
I mean, that's not pretty neat. That was literally the reason to run the other litany before.
It's good. It's +1 attack just across the board is amazing. The other one is get a second vow, which then means you could like do it on the first turn and get extra movement if they have psychers, or auto wound on 6s in combat, or you know, have the assault doctrine active, even if you've been in if it's like the tactical doctrine, and get +1 attack, even if you didn't charge. Like, I love that one. That's one of my favorites. Like, double up on a vow. And another one makes the chaplain more killy. So all in all, it like chaplains are a big part of the Black Templars. So,
I just
and
think that
that
they're
stays
boss.
true.
I think that
Yeah.
I think that the characters, even your homebrew character, I mean your non-unique characters, are going to be really carrying a lot of that army too. I just
Hmm.
their buffs and their combat, dude. Those guys are badass. I mean, they're
Hmm.
no slouches in hand to hand. Everybody hits pretty decently. I still think that army's going to be very, very melee based,
100%.
as they should be though. That is their fluff
But
also.
there's some cool little shooting tricks. Like, they did change the Vow push, and this isn't like a Meta Monday, but in terms of like, you can have like a dreadnought that's like got last cannons or whatever, and then like devout push it behind a wall again. As long as it's close to an objective, so you can like get some shooting elements out there that are like almost Eldari shenanigans.
Well, yeah, they can do some stuff with that. The thing is that I like is Devout Push now has real people rules. It doesn't have I break the game rules, which it did
Yes,
before, where
correct.
you're like, all right, it's not actually a heroic, so you can't actually attack me. I can do weird stuff depending on the tournament, moving past a plane. It just had it was a broken like no rule mechanic, and now it's a
Yep.
cool mechanic. I don't even know if it's a super nerf. I think it's more like a sidestep kind of. It
Yeah,
just
it's just different. It's like you're just gonna use it differently. It's still good in the scenarios in which you're going to use it.
I'm gonna you know what I want to talk about though? We've talked about this. We'll go back to Black Templars, but I'm a little more excited about the Hive Mind, and I want to show some pics from
I like it.
the
New
site.
Octarius, the Octarius system, basically a new campaign book series. It seems that GW is going to be releasing. That's going to have rules for Leviathan Tyranids.
I am so pumped up about things like Synaptic Hive Blades. Oh yeah, you can't take invulns. Sorry, custodes. Everyone hates you. Apparently, we use a lot of rules that make it so you're not as cool.
Mm.
I can't imagine. I want to know if this is only a character thing or if this is a unit thing because it's bone swords and monster bone swords. And previously, you could give bone swords to all the warriors, for instance. So if they're just ignoring invuln saves, that's a big deal.
Well, that would be the death of a lot of witches.
That would be
I'll
the
tell you
death
how
of
much.
all the Harlequins, a lot of witches, a lot of
Yeah.
armies. In, I mean, that's pretty boss mode. Let's be honest with that.
Like,
That's
this is piggybacking off of the last update we had for the Octarius, which was like the last preview we had of Octarius. I want to say was like 8 weeks ago. It's like 2 months ago.
it was a while ago.
It was a long time ago. I don't remember even what they previewed in that one. Something about Gene Stealers, I think. Anyway, it's really cool to see that they're thinking Tyranids. Do you feel like Tyranids would benefit greatly in the meta with stuff like this? Like, who knows? Would that be like the little tip over the edge that might make Tyranids
Well, I mean,
good? Is everybody
you
plays Leviathan?
back them up with Hive Guard and push them in and actually be able to delete things as opposed to bounce off things. That is one of their problems right now is they do bounce a lot depending on. And they've got
Yeah.
some other seriously things on this. You know what I mean? I love
Well, that
this.
Tyranid Warrior, it seems like there's a warlord trade or something for Tyranid Warrior that gives you like chapter master rerolls. Is that what I read?
Yep. And then they've
Yeah.
got the Gestalt Commander, which basically you can just replace everybody with Leviathan on it. So
Hmm.
that's a huge thing. And then I love the Swarm Leader a lot. Slim, I think it's like one friendly Leviathan infantry beast, wide swarm in with the 9 inches, and until the start of the next command phase, each time model makes an attack, you can reroll the hit. Chapter Master
Oh, I
with
feel like
with
Steelers.
9 inches, by the way. Yes,
Like,
and you get a 9 inch to pick, and then they go do their thing. That's some serious distance, brother.
send them off to go murder something, and you don't have to be really really close. See, that's the kind of thing that would make something like a Gene Stealer unit amazing. They have so many attacks. Like, Gene Stealers roll a bucket of attacks, and then if you've got a Brewball nearby, they get the +1 to hit or whatever. But they tend to just, if you roll crappy in that first
Yeah,
like
you can get
roll,
bounced.
there's no conversion on that. Like, you just roll crappy, and then they don't kill enough, and then they just die because they have a 5-up invul.
I think it's super big on this. Let's see what we got.
That's insane with 30 Devil Gaunts. Yeah, imagine like a big unit of Gaunts with Devourers dropping down and having like a bazillion shots that could fire twice with re-rolling hits. Like just picture how many shots that is. It's a lot of shots.
Can you get the AP up? I'm looking at Kayla says the issue is the bone swords are only AP 2, so it's really good into middling save units. The invincible save, it's terrifying into Eldar. Basically, all of my stuff
but
is.
that's I think one of the things it would be used for mainly would be to kill a bunch of Eldari, right?
And
like,
true, also 30 Gaunts with full rerolls is actually pretty nasty on that.
Look at the Tyranid Codex and stuff. Bone swords. Bone swords. Bone
swords ready.
Bone swords. So a monstrous bone sword is AP2.
Yeah.
And a lash whip is also, and a monstrous bone sword is AP2. Just a regular lash whip bone sword is also AP2. And a regular bone sword is also AP2. Now I wonder if there's like, oh no, I guess you'd have to be Leviathan. Is there any way to increase AP when you attack and stuff? Like with a
only with only with monsters
clothes.
And adaptive psychology. But you could take that anyways, though.
Adaptive,
because they're talking about putting it on your big creatures. They were saying the hive tyrants and stuff like that in the community article.
Plus 1 strength, plus 1 AP, plus 1. Okay, so fair enough. Maybe there's a way. AP3 would actually be like the sweet spot because then you're putting Terminator stuff.
Well, it doesn't. That's true. Well, it does with the. No, with monsters.
Well, they have a 1-up save, right? So 1-up save with a storm shield, right? So they go up to a 3-up save.
But
which is the same as their storm shield.
I'm saying if you got it to 3 though, you're putting everybody at least down to 4.
Correct.
You're putting Vanguard vets down to 6 if you did that on a character. You know what I mean? So you're probably picking them up. So I like that a lot. You know what I mean? If you can bump it up, I do think that AP3 is the sweet spot on that though.
It is. AP3 is the sweet spot when it comes to like close combat weapons for sure.
And we'll see if they can get any more buffs. You know what I mean? We haven't seen any of the psychic buffs, or if they have anything else in the book. They just give us a little drip, on the things that we got. So if they have that would be another thing though. If I could give bone swords to a unit, and then they get with a strat. There's multiple strats for multiple armies that give you extra AP on attacks for a turn and stuff like that.
Or 6s do extra AP or something.
So the Hive Tyrant would have 5 attacks, strength 7, AP 3, flat 4 damage. That picks everybody up. Even with a feel no pain, that picks you up, even if you're 3 wounds. That's huge. That would be nasty.
Even with a -1 damage, right? That'd be really good.
You're still picking things up. You're actually picking up almost anybody at that point in time. AP 3 would put you down. It even puts the Custodes down if they get the 1-up. You know what I mean? Puts them down to a 4-up. Puts the regular 2+ guys down to a 5-up. You're still picking up guys. I just think that's an excellent option on that. And a lot of people just don't even have a real save half the time. There's so many creatures like Harlequins, witches, even Catan. You know what I mean? That just are coming in with a flat invul save and a nonsense save. You know what I mean? You're looking to pick a lot of those people up. I do think that helps a lot. I think that there's already Tyranid builds that are they're pretty skewed on Hive Guard and stuff like that. And obviously we have the Demericon stuff come up. But I think that this makes it so you're going to see some more play with things like Hive Tyrants and stuff like that. And we still haven't got the Tyranid book. So like literally these things all tack on. You know what I mean? So we're talking about them getting theirs first then. Like Admech then got the cohort. Dark Eldar got their strife, immediately the same day.
And it ended up still being part of the stuff that you can still use, right? So, this you're considering, well, who knows when the new Tyranid book would come out, but then like Leviathan getting to use this on top of all the stuff that might be in that book.
That's what I'm saying. Really we have an entire new book that's going to be here. You know what I mean? Tyranids are, I don't know when they're coming out, but that's one of the next books, the Xenos books. They're one of the few books we have left. Because they said we're doing mostly Chaos in 2022. They've already come out and said that on their Twitch and everything else. The 2022 is the year of Chaos. So I'm assuming we're going to get Demons, CSM, other things that come with it. Because also in the campaign, we're starting to have to work with the... why can I not figure out? What's the stupid terror in the sky? Not the Eye of Terror, the new one that the Rift.
The Cicatrix Maledictum.
Yeah. The big old Rift. So we have
big
to deal
old
with
rift down the middle of the universe.
Yes. So in story wise, we're going to deal with that more. The Necrons were showing up for that, trying to close it. But we've got all the chaos stuff to do, but then we've got, in the future we've got Tyranids, we've got Tau, we've still got a guard codex that's going to show up sometimes, we've got a custodes codex that's going to show up sometime, and we've got craft worlds that are going to show up sometime that are not chaos. So all of these things are going to come out soon-ish, hopefully, you know what I mean? But I think the Tyranids are going to be one of the most improved, if not, I think, instantly A level or better people in the meta, because the things we've been seeing have been nothing but good so far. You know what I mean? Those strats, those abilities are all strong, and if we just get more, literally just more of that, I feel that army is just gonna literally sneak up and just skyrocket. We gotta watch out for McDougal after that.
I know he's getting all the practice with the older book, and then when the new book comes out, he's gonna come out swinging. It's gonna be great. Well, the Tyranids themselves are just like the ultimate baddie of the universe, because orcs are like the ultimate, just everybody fights them, but like Tyranids just want to eat everything. Like they don't really have. They're just the ultimate.
Yeah, they're the bad guys.
Wipe the slate clean. You know what I mean?
They are the bad guys. So, but I really like that army. I hope that big bugs are playable. I'd like to see big bugs out there. They're one of my favorites. I just love the fluff of
do a whole wish list segment. I wish that my Tyranid monster bugs.
I do.
Don't hit on 4s anymore.
Yeah.
I wish.
And they also had a sweep attack, so they can actually not get held. You're like, what happened? The most powerful, crushing creature in the universe. What happened to him? Oh, he spent 4 turns fighting guard. No, the whole army? No, 10 guardsmen grabbed him.
He didn't have enough attacks to kill 10.
He just wasn't powerful enough to get past those 10 guard guys. for what? The entire game. You're like, oh, okay, that seems legit.
Yeah. Because he had no rerolls to hit, and he would roll 3 1s every time.
Yeah. So I'd really love to play an army that was big bugs and just a swarm of small bugs just crushing over you. Just basically big bugs with big small bugs just coming over you. Just total fluffness. You know what I mean? In my mind, that's what it feels like to me. Is just.
See, I would like it personally if they had, instead of like faction specifics or like power from pain, how power from pain gets better as the turn goes or whatever. It'd be cool if you could like build your list based around the stage of development of the like planet consumption that the Tyranids are in. You know what I mean? Because they do it in stages. You know what I mean? Like you've got the spores and all the stuff that comes first, and like the seeding, and then you've got like the swarms and swarms of termagants and gargoyles to like waste people's ammunition, and then you've got like the larger eater bugs, that go around starting to eat consume all the biomass or whatever. So it'd be cool if they kind of had that distinction.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be. There's a lot of things you could. I think Tyranids are very fascinating because each high fleet's slightly different because it adapted a different way. You know what I mean? You've got tons of stuff that you could do. Period. But I would love to see. You're 100% right on that. Tyranid monsters. That's just every monster in general does need more. It's the thing is they've been doing a decent job lately of that in a lot of the things in the newer codexes of big characters, big creatures, and whatnot. Expensive things all having at least a sweep attack. Because it's
even Hellbreak has a sweep attack, and he's not a monster.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, when you pay a decent amount for a character / monster, either one of them, they should have enough. They should be able to clear chaff. Like it shouldn't be, this legendary giant monster from the deep goes 10 morons held me for forever. He should just be able to swat 50 points of nonsense out of his way.
Yeah.
I do agree on that. I do think that it would be. I wish actually that orcs had the same as Dark Elder have like a blade artisan type mechanic where 6s were AP, or you know what I mean, not just the Goths.
It's called the speed wall, Brad. It's called the speed wall.
Yeah, and it doesn't work on a non-log. But boys do. It is tough right now for them because AP1 a lot of times just isn't enough. So. That is a real thing, especially against some of these very, very tough armies. Black Templar, for instance, Custodes, for instance, guys sitting at 1-up and 2-up saves. AP1 a lot of times does not get the job done. Dude, I love that rule, but you have to give it the World Eaters too when they come out. The old Choppa, the old Cornet Chain Axe, which said
Chain Axe and Choppa rule. If I had any Terminated, was in trouble.
Yep, because you can only save on a 4+ is best because they're swinging for the cheap seats, baby. They go right through that armor. But yeah, Gaz 100% needs a sweep attack. I love Gazgul the model. I think he's amazing. That model is so detailed, by the way. I would love to put him on the board, but he doesn't do enough for me. And I'm a nerd efficiency master on that. Point for point, he just doesn't have enough. He's not doing enough for the points he has. Tough guy, but he's not. You can just bog him down with idiots, and he just can't get out of it. So, and I don't want that. I love my big guys. I'd actually tell you the truth. I really, really like big models in 40K. I don't want like Titans and stuff as much because they take up too much space and it's hard
It'd be cool
to
if you could take big units and they wouldn't just get blown off the table in like one turn by like admech planes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and like I originally, my first army, I started playing Chaos. My order of armies was Chaos, then Dark Eldar. Chaos, Dark Eldar, Eldar was the order of things I did when I started 21 years ago.
He's a heretic, you know.
You became the ultimate heretic, my friend. You were like, you went from the Templars who are hunting down heretics to
Xenos and the heretics.
So, but I would love that. I would love to have Promex be more playable. The fact is that Promex are very, very fun, but they can just be insta picked up, and I don't like that at all. It just feels weird to have Magnus show up on the table and a bunch of random Skitari Rangers go, that guy looks scary. Pew pew, dead. You're like, I feel
he's like a demon of 1,000 worlds, can crush entire planets to his will. 20 Rangers, go!
I love it, Lyle. Brad, take a break, dude. You never stop doing stuff. Your old man heart can't take it forever. It can't. I was after this I'm taking a week off because after three GTs in a row, my body said, just say no.
Yeah, just say no. Other than that, we did have a couple of events this weekend coming up, right? Where we had like a couple of majors. You yourself took a top spot at the Michigan GT.
Indeed, I did.
But in 40K Today news, this just in, Stompa be good.
Well, you know. or
let's just say you played against the Stompa in the final round.
Or
that made it 4-0 before running into you. Like, kudos.
I did what Dark Eldar do, and I said that looks big and scary. I will just go somewhere else.
Let's just kill everything except the big 600-point model.
The big boss, baby. Yes, I literally went away. I'm like, what? That has what does he do in close combat? That seems, the Stompa does things. It does do things. I was like,
the Stompa though, it's funny. I recently played a game against 3 Stompas, and they had a decent amount of shooting and close combat capability.
Their close combat's crazy.
More than I thought.
They have 18 attacks that do 3 flat damage in close combat. Yeah. If they hit you, it's bad news bears. Their shooting is like a lot of shots that I'll hit on 5s. So if you lightning, you just they shoot the general area with shots, but they're in hand to hand. They soccer toss anything they hit.
Funny because they've got little stumpy feet. So what can they really kick with those feet?
Yeah, exactly. I beat Tom by a single point. He goes, and as usual with Tom, I will say, I destroyed you.
Hey, if you're not first, you're last. Right? Is that how that works?
You don't like
even if it's by 1 point.
Uh-oh. Mr. Ferguson, you don't like the new Black Templar book? I actually think I like that book a lot.
I really like it. And it's still a close combat chapter. There's just, it's...
I do.
Of course, there's more close combat stuff in there than most armies. There's just a lot of versatility to do shooting.
Let me put the point with it. They're kind of combo-y in a way because they do want a lot of buffs. So I think that it's going to be a lot of manipulation of who gets what and where they go. But I still think they're very, very good.
It's combo-centric, but at the same time, you've got the mechanics there are really, really cool. Like being able to make shotguns 2 damage, for example, or I love my Land Raider Crusader, being able to get out of your Land Raider Crusader after moves,
that's old school,
and then
by the
charge. Way. Oh, that's like assault ramp, baby. Like that's back.
That's 3rd and 4th edition, bro.
Oh yeah. So cool. Like, I love the fact that they can have like like dudes with special relics inside units. That's like a really cool mechanic. That has like they have a fight lost mechanic, which is really cool to have that in addition to like a Judicard. If you don't want to run a Judicard, just run a little Holy Orb of Antioch.
They I think he's shooting. It's good though. It's they do a lot of punchy. I mean I like them for what they do. I mean,
all the power to you, Ferguson. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You don't have to play them.
I like armies that beat people. I mean, to be fair, I tend to play armies that have way more punchy than shooty as a whole. I always fall back on because
it's nice to have options, right? Like you still want to do combat, right? Which in most armies, like or at least have some sort of counter charge element, right? So like when you're playing like an Adeptus Mechanicus army, yeah, you can shoot the hell out of people, but a lot of them have like they fall back on the infiltrators, the rust stokers, that sort of thing, to have a good counter charge punch to kind of do that, like just put the nail in the coffin. And that's the same with any army. Like you've got Incubi, you've got Drazar, with Drukhari, you got Witches, right? Which you can use aggressively or defensively, but you also have some good shooting. And it's all about being able to, a good book in this edition is one that can affect most of the phases in the game. And we're seeing that in lots of books, like Grey Knights, for example.
Grey Knights. I think Grey Knights are a fantastic book for what they do
100%.
because of the fact they'll do anything. So, I'm not going to lie. I'm very excited for the future of 40K, not just 40K today, because I'm actually excited for Chaos. I think the way Chaos is really good, you see a lot of different stuff. I just like anything that shakes up the meta. I don't like a little bit where we are right this second, even though we started off very strong, and I love the meta for a long time. I know we just did Meta Monday. But anytime you get one army that's fairly uninteractive, that's very, very powerful, I'm not a huge fan of any one thing being at the top, especially armies that tend to be able to kill you from a distance. Hand-to-hand armies that are oppressive at least always feel like you're interacting with them and you always have a chance. An army that can murder you from the other side of the board and you never get to do anything feel like they didn't have a great game. You know what I mean? You're like, if you and I play and you smash me, but it was all, you had to bring units in, I killed some of your stuff, and then eventually I get crushed. I'm like, I feel like I was involved. If I'm just getting shot and I never make it over, because
at that point you're just rolling dice and removing models, right? So it was also like back in the day, and one of the best examples of that was like Iron Hand Flyer Span, right? Where you had 3 of the little Storm Talons and 3 of the
they always stayed in Devastator Doctrine, so they all hit on 2s, re-rolling
and
ones.
They just hit on 2s all the time, and literally just like it was them rolling 1,000,000 assault cannon and rocket launcher shots, and you removing models the whole game, and that's how that felt.
It's just anything that doesn't interact, and that's why I already went on my flyer rant earlier, so I won't do it again.
Here we have a good question from David. Says, does the $97 a month personal coaching service for the Art of War include the podcast as well as the War Room?
I don't know, because they mix them all up as far as what they have.
I believe the War Room for sure, and I'm not sure about the podcast, but I definitely know.
I think it's the War Room. There's a War Room tier for War Room and podcast by itself. I apologize for that. I should actually know that, but I know a few things. You know what I know? I know that I set up all these backgrounds. I set all this stuff up. I make everything pretty.
We sit, we chat, we hang out, and we talk 40K. And this is, why the discussion is why we do it, because it's all about that lively discussion, which is awesome. As for Chaos, though, there's been talk of like a World Eater supplement, right? Like in terms of World Eaters coming up the pipeline. Like imagine what World Eaters would get. That'd be so cool.
And I say this a lot when it includes any Khorne army, any Tau army. Anybody that only functions in one phase is unbelievably hard to balance, because you have to make them OP enough in their phase to make up for the fact that they don't work in the other phases. Both Tau and Khorne don't have a psychic phase, and Khorne probably doesn't have much of a shooting phase. Tau has a very little in the assault in the phase. So they have to make up for that. But the problem is that if you make them too good in this and all of a sudden they get oppressive, either way, you know what I mean? Because you have to give them a way to get there or a way to keep people at bay if you're shooting. So literally, it's so hard. But and the thing is that my first army I played was World Leaders, by the way. No shooting. I ran hand-to-hand dreadnoughts.
Did you play original World Eaters? Like, Khorne Berserkers had to chase the closest thing around?
Yep, and if you raged, you didn't rage like Blood Angels. You got upset and got out of your Rhino and went slower than the Rhino went. I'm so angry that I need to get outside and tell everybody about it.
I used to have a Land Speeder in my list just for Khorne Berserkers, because they would literally chase the Land Speeder around the table.
Yep. Because they had to take whatever was the closest. So yes, it was tough.
Good times. Good times.
All the things.
But nothing beat like literally having like a Havoc unit or a Devastator unit or something, like Blood Angel, Devastators, Havocs, roll like a 1 on their Bloodthirsty chart and have to move forward and then not be able to shoot their heavy weapons.
I do want to see what they're going to do with the new book with Nurgle right now, because they said that, the gods ebb and flow, but right now in the storyline, Nurgle's supposed to be peaking because of the fact that the Destroyer virus is going so hard through the galaxy.
Like the Destroyer virus, like Necron Destroyer virus?
No, from the Destroyer stuff, the virus that's turning that does everybody into poxsmokers.
Okay, like that virus is that like just going rampant like everywhere?
Yeah, it's going rampant in the one. I can't remember which sector it is, but it's just
rampant, not rampant,
rushing through.
Interesting. Is that like just in the Death Guard book right now?
That was part of the fluff of the story going into from 8th to 9th. I'm a nerd. I read all that stuff. So
you know what I wish they did for like Chaos and stuff, bringing stuff in like the Geller pox infected, like the Geller field like pox guys that they did for Rogue Trader. Having them, it would have been cool to have them interact in that sort of like Nurgle like meta like list.
I love that I mentioned the Nurgle. He goes, Nurgle always speaking, baby, never coming down.
Of course, Nurgle Matthew would approve. You would approve, wouldn't you, Nurgle Matthew?
Exactly.
100%.
That is a good point. Khorne doesn't have to be all melee. Bullets spill blood after all. Good point.
They do. Blood for the Blood God?
Indeed. I would like I'm not going to lie. I would love to have a crazy demon engine Khorne army. That right now is something I would love to have on the table. It might get move blocked like a madman, but it would be awesome looking and be fun as hell.
Yeah.
The Necrons don't get infected by Nurgle, I don't think, but they do get infected by their own Destroyer virus that basically jacks up their circuits. Yeah. Yeah.
It makes them kill, don't care about tactics anymore, just kill organic organisms or whatever it is. So in terms of like, they haven't said what the books are coming up, right? The two mystery books.
They put the mystery books up. I mean, so for Xenos we have Craftworld, Tau,
Craftworld,
GSC,
Tyranid, GSC. Is that it for Xenos?
I think that's it.
Feels really low. What do we have for Imperium? Custodes,
Astronautarm. Whoa. They're still IG to me, baby.
Imperial God. Man.
Yes, indeed. And then you have all the Chaos stuff.
And then, Chaos, I guess.
Ergo Matthew approved with the Star Chat. He did. He listened to you and put the 7 in. Look at you.
Is that all 7? Amazing. Is that 7 in total? That's right. Now you are the ultimate prize of Nurgle. Nurgle Matthew, you have...
the paragon of Nurgle.
That's right. Do you remember 3.5 book? And of course, we're going way off track. This is not necessarily 40K today.
This is 40K yesterday.
This is 40K yesterday. We should have a Throwback Thursday show when we just sit and chat about things that were and why people who are upset about the meta. Yes, okay, hot take. Scary hot take over here, because I tend to apparently hot take all the time, which I'm challenging the notion.
We did forget nights.
Is back in the day when if you had the legions like Nurgle, Slanesh, if you had the sacred numbers in the units,
they counted as troops.
You got they were troops, but you also had your sergeants for free and upgrades for free and stuff. Oh man.
Oh, I always took numbers.
That was so
always
cool.
Numbers, baby.
I
had you bought them exactly as that too. I had 7 for my Plague Marines. I had 8 for my Berserkers. I love it. Love it.
100%. But coming back to 40K today, one What do you think the solution is to, like, in terms of the meta right now? I think that one of the easiest solutions is to bring in more team events.
Team events settle everything, and they're the best way to play because it doesn't matter if you have one or two factions that are much, much stronger than everybody else because they're only represented once. In a team event, pair around it. It's fantastic. A lot of times you actually just take the mirror and just figure it out, especially then you can go on player skill. But I think that team events, I wish that team events were readily more available and pushed harder for instance, in ITC, because I think that I would play almost exclusively in team events if we had a big circuit for them. So I would love.
Well, I think it's the size, right? Like, in order to run, like, most people or most events run like a little RTT or a GT that's like 20 to 30 some people, right? Then that's all. And if you do teams of 5, that's what, 6 teams, right? Max. Do you know what I mean?
Indeed. I'm trying to scam down everything that was said. I missed so much chat. So hard.
The chat's just going nuts. It's fine. Chat, we love you. Thanks for hanging out with us today. It's been really fun so far. And congratulations to Tim. Says, Brad, I won the buggy matchup. Thanks for the help.
You're welcome.
That's right. So are you, Brad.
I do think there's certain armies that are in the thing. To fix the meta itself, you know what? One, fix the flyer mechanic. Let's put it over here. I already ranted about it.
Yeah, we did. Well, we ranted in Meta Monday, not in here today.
Yes, not in here today. So watch Meta Monday. I lost my mind a little bit again about flyers. It is
a little jingle and everything. It was great.
Yes, team events are so good. I can't tell you. It literally solves so much because the meta is always good in team events. It literally is because no one or two factions can break a 5. You get 5 guys. Even 4-player events, you know what I mean? But I think the sweet spot, there's 8 in the World Championships, 5 in a lot of the events that happen most of the time.
Yep.
The answer is more succubi. The answer is always more succubi.
Is it always more succubi? Well, we'll see. We'll see. I feel like succubi will be less prevalent if they get hit real hard.
Yes.
Because they are way too cheap right now. I
don't know what you're talking about. I think they are overcosted. 30-point succubi.
Get out of here. Red card. Throw a yellow flag at you. Whatever you
I caught a yellow and a red card.
Yellow. Yeah. Yellow card and yellow flag. 10-yard penalty that way.
I love it. For the game to be more... It's hard right now because I think there's so many things that are good about AdMech that you don't want to crush it because I never want things to be nerfed out of playability. I think that's always a mistake, and that has happened in the past where something was too strong and then they got nerfed and it can't be played anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. Got crushed, and I don't want that to happen. Yeah, exactly. Smallish team events in the Midwest. Hell, team events are like literally the answer to the game. It's also here's why another reason why I like team events. I know I started with a thought, but then somebody distracted me, and I'm easily distracted because I seriously went squirrels, shiny, and I went off on a new thing. But what originally Scar did bring up, team events. One of the main reasons, you always smooth out the meta because it doesn't matter if one army's so much better than everybody else. There's only one of them. 2, even if you lose games, and sometimes it's hard to come back from your losses when you're trying to win the tournament and whatnot. Every round is a new event basically because it doesn't matter if you won or lost.
You could win. You could lose every game as a part of your team, and your team could still win. Yeah, you know what I mean, like, and it feels great because you win and you lose as a team.
And the thing is that when you're playing, which typical teams, we didn't do it in the Vegas, but like almost every other team event, every point counts. So even if you're grinding out points, if you're the guy that gets thrown out in front of the bus and takes the thing, but you're constantly getting a good point total. You're losing to AdMech 100 to 70 every time and giving 70 points out there so that it's a small differential. You're just a team. You're like the MVP of the team right there when you look at it. So team events, they are the great equalizer on that, Scar. You've never been more right than right then.
Oh, I will mark that in my calendar. Canadian Thanksgiving Day, the day Scary was the most right. John Englewood says, is there ever a way to handicap an army like some sports do? The
It's
thing about pomp and handicapping and things like that is it is a slippery slope.
it's a dangerous slippery slope.
It is a crazy. You know what? Granted, the thing, like, for coming from 6th and 7th and some of 8th edition, a lot of the changes that Games Workshop did were knee-jerk reaction, like changes or nerfs or sort of like handicap stuff that then ended up really either changing a faction completely, like the way that they had a Yanari interact with Croftwolves. That has affected Croftwolves for like 5 or 6 years, like since their whatever their book came out, 4 years. Like that inherently has affected their internal book balance because the Yanari and the way they interacted together, but they sort of like got punished for it. Guard, Astrum of the Tarum, they were the most OP book at the start of 8th edition. They were crazy. But then they got some like nerfs and rule changes, not just like point tweaks, but back then GW was like changing rules and changing infiltrate to deep strike and doing a whole bunch of different stuff. And even nowadays, like a lot of those are long standing sort of like retcon like nerfs from the actual codex. Like you buy an Astrum of the Tarum codex and almost nothing in that book is like per written.
Dude, you want to go with,
you know what I mean?
If you want to go with that one, go look at the Demon Codex right now. It has nothing to do with the actual rules right now. You're like, that's just a historical document. It's just that is a story from days past. None of those things apply anymore. And the thing is we need some balance. I did think it was balanced. You still see a lot of things, but we are seeing everything kind of narrowed down, and you see some super skew. We're doing much better, by the way, with terrain. I think that really evens a lot of things out. When you don't have good terrain, I think that's also where you see a lot of go firsty stuff. Yeah. I love it. All the Scary days.
100%. The Scary Day is once a year. Amazing. I love how no one has spelt Scary correctly. It's either double R or double I.
I did not. That's Look fine. At it. There it is. Fine. International Scary Day.
There you go. Look at that.
Brad Chester.
You got something right too today, Brad.
Look at the GSC book. Yes. GSC is one of the things where I thought they nerfed too far because they went from a hard oppressive army to a boom, it literally went from arguably the best army in the game. GSC was really strong for a while, and it's literally now winning at 20%. You know what I mean? It got crushed, just crushed. And that's my thing is that we need to do more of slight nerfs up the people at the bottom. You know what I mean? Take the little things that aren't played, things that are underpowered, give them a little boost, and then you have to nerf certain things. And then we have to take the flyer mechanic and break it over our knee like Bane. We just have to Bane the flyer mechanic.
They're just trolling me because of the spelling. Thank you, Nurgle Matthew, for spelling it correctly. And Punk Fox, it is Scary Day, but on the 31st of October. Halloween joke. So before we finish up for the day, Brad, what is your overall take from the week?
From the week, AdMech is scary. I'm excited for the Octarius book. I'd like to see Tyranids come out and be strong. I think Grey Knights are going to be the great equalizer because I think they play very well into the meta. Yeah. And I think that if you always have a glass of wine or a beer in your hand while you play and a glass of soda or whatever you'd like to drink and just relax, play by intent, enjoy the game, play your best to win. Don't get me wrong. I always want to win the game. I'll be sad when I lose each time, but you will have an excellent time every single time. I will give a story with Eloise, Mr. Brandon Valley's wife. Lovely. She got her sisters, went to her first GT over the weekend, went 0-2, but then won the 3 games after that. And after she lost 2 games, she was super excited, ran out and goes, I'm the happiest 0-2 player ever because I'm learning things every time I play.
Yeah, and it's all about learning and stuff. And I'll tell you, no matter how bad Adeptus Mechanicus is, number one, it's not going to last forever. Number 2, or as long as anything else has lost that is busted by GW. Number 2, it's not double lash submission. Okay? Because that stuff was busted.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never played that. Come to me, plasma cannons.
No. Obliterators and lashes submission. Oh, shivers down my spine.
Fair and balanced, my friend. Fair and balanced.
Get out of here.
So, everyone, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it every time. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.